What's up, guys? So I'm here with a different setup. This isn't going to be permanent. I just thought, you know what, why not do a video where I'm just kind of lounging around? I'm going to be talking about the four Mass Effect comics, the Homeworld series. I was thinking that maybe every time I do like a book review or a comic review or something like that, I'll probably just do like this loungy feeling. I mean, I'm in my PJs pretty much. I'm like all comfortable. I got my tea here with my Indiana Jones cup. So yeah, I encourage you guys to go get some coffee or some tea or whatever you want and just like sit around and lounge around with me while I talk about the Mass Effect comics. You will notice that you can see the mic. I wasn't able to get it facing me without it being in the camera. So that's not very loungy, or kind of it. I guess it's like an open mic. Oh my god. The first issue is this one. It's James Vega. The Homeworld issues are they are about specific characters. There are 4 different characters that they go into. I think they should do something like this for every character. I thought it was pretty interesting. I will admit this was not my favorite out of the 4. It was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of pointless. You do get to know a little bit about James's past. This one starts off, it says it's on the Citadel, and it's days before or days after the Reaper attack on Earth. So I think that this takes place, or at least when James Vega, like the present, because sometimes it'll start in the present and then it goes like a flashback where he thinks of this stuff. It might not be, but I like to think that it's when the Normandy docks on the Citadel for the first time in Mass Effect 3, where you take Ashley to the medical center, and then James goes off and does his own thing. I think this is what he did. What he does is he goes off and checks for information on his father and on his uncle. In Mass Effect 3, he mentions that he has an uncle that he's worried about, and his name is Emilio Vega, and his father's name is Josh Sanders. And then he mentions to Shepard that he doesn't have a good relationship with his father, that he couldn't care less about him and all that. That's what this comic goes into. It goes into that. It goes into who his uncle was and who his father was and why he doesn't have a good relationship with his father. So in the flashback, it goes back to his uncle mentions that he's a minor, so I'm guessing he's maybe 17 years old, James Vega, in this flashback. He's in San Diego, California. He's just enlisted in the military. And his uncle's like all happy for him and like encouraging him, and James Vega pretty much he pretty much signed up, enlisted because of his uncle, because James Vega was always like, he was kind of scared to do it because his father was never going to let him. So his uncle was like, you got to live your life and this and that. And James Vega's mom died. I don't know when, but she died before this. So she's no longer here. But his father is a junkie. James Vega's father is a complete junkie, and he's a jerk. He treats James Vega really bad and pretty much uses him to go pick up his drugs. Like, he's like, okay, I have a package for you to pick up, like, go pick it up. And he uses red sand. So Vega's just kind of sick of it. Like, he's just tired, and his uncle's like, you gotta do something, you know, you just follow what you want to do. This is your life, it's not his. But James is kind of scared, and he doesn't really want to do it. And his father doesn't look like him at all. That's him, the blonde right there. But I'm guessing he probably takes more after his mom. The whole Latino side to James Vega, I'm guessing, is all on his mom's side, because his father doesn't really look Latino, and he doesn't have a Latino last name, Josh Sanders. But his uncle is his mother's brother, and his name is Emilio Vega. I'm guessing that's where pretty much where James Vega's heritage comes from, or at least the one that he chose to keep, because he chose the last name Vega and not Sanders. I think he was more happy with his uncle than he was, or not. I think he was happier with his uncle. So he preferred to stay to just keep the last name Vega instead of Sanders. And if you remember, in the very, very early stages of James Vega's development in the game, his last name was Sanders, James Sanders. I don't know. I guess they just decided to keep that. So yeah, it just goes into that where he goes and picks up this package for his father. He gets the police track him down, or they see that he's doing this drug thing, you know, like picking up drugs, and he gets chased by the cops, and he ends up hiding out in this restaurant and all this. It's just kind of, it was just like, okay, whatever. It was kind of pointless, but it just goes into a little bit of his background and gives you a feeling of why he doesn't really get along with his father, and why he gets along better with his uncle. He doesn't end up getting caught by the cops, but he takes the package to his father, and his father he threatens him, and he's like, I know that you enlisted in the military and you're not going anywhere, you're staying here, and if you even try to enlist in the military or leave, I'm gonna tell the military that you did this whole drug thing, that you were picking up drugs and all that. And James Vega gets all scared and like mad, and his uncle tells him, he's like, don't worry, your father's just talking. He's all talk. He can't do that because you're a minor, and he would be busted like worse because he sent a minor to pick up drugs. So that's pretty much it. It's just James Vega remembering that, and then it goes back to the Citadel, and he's with Liara, and Liara just tells him like, what are you doing and all that, and he's like, oh, I'm just looking for some family members, and she's like, we got to go back to Normandy. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. The tagline is Hell on Earth. So it's like, not only were the Reapers were his hell on Earth, but also his father. So yeah, that was that. Let's move right on to Tali. This one is, the tagline is the Galaxy Betrayed. This moment in her life is when, if you guys remember, in Mass Effect 3, and in Mass Effect 1, where it was because of Tali's information that pretty much the whole pursuit after Saren and the Geth and all that was possible. Like, she brought a lot to the table as to what Saren was doing and all that. She had the information. She had like this file or something like that she had found. And then she joins your team. Like, that's where this goes into, like, when she got that file, how she got that file. And then she also mentions in Mass Effect 3 that she had been shot. That it goes into that too. She's pretty much like straight out from the flotilla, and she's like going on her pilgrimage. So she's really young in this, and she's listening to a message from her father that is really touching, especially when you know what happens to him in Mass Effect 2, which was one of my favorite loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2, Tali's. It was just so emotional, and then she was like a character from Mass Effect 1, and I really fell in love with her in Mass Effect 2. I didn't really care for her in Mass Effect 1, but I don't know, it went deeper into her and into who she was, and I just thought it was so much more emotional, and I liked that better. So yeah, she's on her pilgrimage. She's got this a male Quarian with her. I forgot his name. He's got a pretty weird name. She's pretty much following like a lead or something like that. Like this, she says that they scanned a planet below and they found like traces of like Geth activity, and they're in the Crescent Nebula. They land on this planet, and they do find Geth, and they destroy one, but not like fully destroyed. They could still get his memory before he self-destructs, or before it self-destructs. And she comes across this message inside the Geth that is from Saren. talking about the Reapers and all this stuff that he's planning and all this. And they're just like, oh my god. Now this is the information that she ends up giving Shepard in Mass Effect 1 about Saren and the Geth and all that and the Reapers. So she knows that she came across something big and something important, something that could be dangerous. So the team that's there on that planet, the Geth team, they're also there with this Turian and some Batarians and all that, and they're looking for these Protheans, the Prothean data or something like that, for Saren. And the Turian finds out that that one of the Geth went missing, and they're like, oh my gosh, someone's here, we've got to, like, you know, take them out or else they're gonna know what we're doing. And that was Tali and her partner or her friend or whatever. This Turian and the team end up finding Tali, and they're chasing her, and they end up leaving the planet, and they come to Ilium, I believe. Yeah, they go to Ilium because that's where Tali was originally going to go to, Ilium. They get there, but since they're Quarians, nobody wants to give them access to landing. So they're just like, oh, we don't have any room. You're going to have to wait until we get room. It might be a few days. So they have to just stick around and just wait and, you know, just waiting until they could finally land. But the Turian and the team that was after them is able to catch up to them because of this. They're trying to keep away because they have to get this data somewhere to the Citadel to tell somebody about it, because they're like, this is bad. Like, this doesn't sound good. But nobody wants to listen to them because they're Quarians, and I mean, the Quarians have a really bad reputation already. So they finally land on the Citadel, and the Chelik, they come across the Turian, the one that was, I think he was in charge of CSEC in Mass Effect 1. Chelik, she tells him that they have to talk to the council, and he's like, you're not getting into the council or whatever. So they don't know what to do. They're like, we need to find a way to get to the council. They approach Avina, and they ask her how they should do that, and she's like, oh no, the council is like backed up right now. You won't be able to get a hearing with them until like maybe 7 months, I think. This was stupid. They end up bumping into this other Turian that's pretty much telling him to like back off and leave, but he's got the body of a human. I don't know if you guys could see that. I thought that was stupid. They drew this Turian with the head of a Turian and with the body of a human, and I was like, dude, Turians do not have bodies of humans at all. I mean, this guy's got like biceps and like abs. It looks like a human, and I'm like, oh my god. Anyways, that one Turian ends up catching up to them. Her friend gets shot, and so does she. She gets scraped on her side, and her friend, the shot that he took is pretty lethal, so he ends up dying. Tali leads the other Turian into like a trap, like this trap that she sets up. She turns on her little computer that she had. It's like a little laptop. She leaves it there as bait, kind of, and the Turian hears her father's message. She plays her father's message so that the Turian could hear noise, and he goes towards there like it's a bait. He goes in there, and then he finds himself trapped, and Tali had rigged the room for it to blow up or whatever, or to burn, because it was a furnace. It was a furnace area of the Citadel. And she activates it with her Omni tool. She's like not even there anymore, and she just activates it for it to burn and burn the guy inside. The message of her father is playing, and it's really touching. It's pretty much saying how he's proud of her, and how he says, I know I've been hard on you, Tali. I've been so focused on preparing you for the work our people need when you were born. I really like this part because he's talking. You could see the message of her father. Like, this is the little computer, and the Turian's like trying to get out, and he ends up burning, but you could still hear it while the computer's melting. I really love this part right here. The computer's melting, but you could still hear what he's saying. This is one of my favorite parts. And it's really cool. It goes into like the Reapers finally coming, and Tali ends up going to see Dr. What was her name? The redhead, I forgot her name. It kind of leads up to Mass Effect 1. And then it pretty much ends on Mass Effect 3 where she's on Rannoch. That's pretty much it for Tali. It was just the lead up to Mass Effect 1. Now let's go to Garrus. This is my favorite one because this one has so much in it. So much of Garrus, pieces of his life. It's not just one part of his life. It has a lot of different parts of his life that pretty much made him to who he is in Mass Effect. And I thought it was really, really cool. So this is my favorite one. One of the first reasons why I thought this is pretty much why I absolutely fell in love with it first. It's a little Garrus. He's a little kid training with a sniper rifle. His father is training him. But he's so cute. He's a little Garrus. Look at him right there. That's his father and that's Garrus. I just thought it was adorable. Just to imagine it. And he's like, I'm tired. But his father's like, no, we're not going to stop and you're not going to leave until you hit those targets. So he's training and his father is this comic goes into a lot about who his father is, and I don't know, I kind of get a different feeling of who Garrus is by knowing his father, and you kind of knew a little bit more about his father in Mass Effect 3, which I really liked. I would have loved to see him come out, like to see Garrus's father like actually come out in the game. I think that would have been so cool. He would have been an awesome Turian because he was like straight up a Turian. Like he represented what Turians stand for physically. Like he was the embodiment of what the Turian race believes in and all that. He believes in duty. He believes in doing the right thing and doing staying by the book, and no matter what, not faltering from that, not because it's easy or anything like that. You gotta stay doing the right thing and going by the rules is pretty much what he is. He's very strict. He's very he wants to prepare Garrus and really make him live up to what he's made to do in life, which is pretty much the way that Turians believe is you have a duty in life and you have to complete that and do that, and nobody will prevent you from doing it. You could only improve in it. So that's what Garrus's father wanted for him. But Garrus was a dreamer. He didn't want to be an officer. He didn't want to be. He knew he was the son of an officer, but he didn't want that.